this league. He's mentally tough, and he always keeps himself ready. He's on the early bus like he always is every day, getting here 4 hours before the game. But he prepares, and he doesn't get wrapped up in things that he can't control. But when his number is called, that's uncanny. How it looks like he's been playing and in rhythm for weeks when really he hasn't been.
To the game itself, the change that you all make at halftime to make things less easier for Olafalo, what was the key there?
Well, you do have to give them some credit, number one. This is a very competitive team. They play with a lot of energy here at home. We were felt like we were in a mental fog in the first half. Some of our mental breakdowns and careless turnovers really shifted the game the other direction. In the second half, we were a little bit sharper to start the quarter. We were able to get shots, and JJ broke it open with some of those threes. But throughout the course of the game, I thought our effort defensively was good. It was really the turnovers that was troubling us for a while.
Erik, you talk all the time about how guys like JJ stay ready. They stay in that role. What's it say about the rest of your guys that he's just not filling space out there? If he's going to get left open, the ball's going to find him.
Yeah, they look for him. He's one of our favorites, particularly when he's behind the line. You know how ignitable he can be. It's a great quality. There's not many guys in this league that have the mental toughness to do what JJ does, to keep himself ready. Day after day, he's in impeccable conditioning and shape and keeping himself in rhythm. And then he has that ignitable quality. When his number is called and he finds open spots, there's no hesitation to his game. There's not a thought of, hey, I haven't played in the last few games. It's I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, spreading the court, shooting it in rhythm when I'm open. And it was great to see. We all root for him. I wish I could play him more. He deserves more, but that's the state of this team, and he produced tonight.
Erik, does this team almost torment you that you have so many buttons you could push? You look down that bench, and it's a different guy every night. You talk about the guys, how they have to wait for the turn, but, I mean, do you almost have a wealth of riches? I mean, do you almost have a look that way?
No, I certainly do not take it for granted.
Okay.
We know, because of our last 3 playoff runs, you need depth. But in order to have that depth, you have to have the right kind of guys. I say it time and time again. It's much easier said than done. If it was easier, more teams would do it. But more often in pro sports, you see guys that want more, even at the expense of winning. Our guys are taking less for something more significant, hopefully at the end of the year. It's very gratifying when guys accept that type of role.
Erik, have you found yourself more willing to go deeper into that, especially in this place?
Well, we're playing fairly consistently a 10-man rotation right now. A lot of that has been because of circumstance. When we're fully healthy, we'll see what happens. But I'm comfortable playing anybody on our roster in any game against anyone.
Everyone knows what this team did to you rebounding last year, 40-25 on the boards. That number one was that.
Yes, and the concentration was really trying to keep the ball in the paint. And it's tough. Jameer Nelson has a knack for getting into the paint, getting away from you on pick and rolls. He did escape when they made their run in the second quarter, and a lot of those plays were his plays. So when we can keep the offensive teams in front of us, we have a better chance of rebounding, even with our size. But that's the key. It was good to see us step up to that challenge tonight.
Coach, even though you had to recalibrate things a little bit for the second half, you should now string together a few games defensively more like what you want. What else more do you want for?
Well, again, I like the activity. Even in the first half, even when they were coming back, it wasn't a matter of our physical awareness or intensity that we brought. Really, it was our mental capacity that we brought to the second quarter. There were so many of those careless turnovers that were unnecessary, unfundamental, that really opened the game and opened the door for them to get back into the game. But in terms of our intensity activity, really since the Boston game, it's been more consistent to our identity, how we want to play.
I'm just worried about Chris Bosh going back to really the Charlotte game. He's stringing together, at least on the offensive end, a series of games where he's so unbelievably active.
His motor has been much more consistent. That's what I noticed right from the get-go. He's running the floor. That's his advantage. every single night is his speed, his quickness, his motor, and that's what he needs to focus on. The ball will find him in open areas, open gaps. We use the term all the time, the ball will find energy. And when he's playing with that type of energy, the ball will find him. We're not running necessarily plays for him, but you see him moving into open areas, and he's very skilled when he gets in those sweet spots of his.
Was this the blueprint of depth at the beginning, or really is it more than
Which beginning?
really is it more than you could have?
Well, we've added to that depth, every year, but we learn, those lessons. The further you get along, there's things you can't control, injuries, suspensions, foul trouble. But each year we've needed our depth all the way until the end, and certainly during the regular season, all 15 guys. But again, you have to have the right guys. You see it in pro sports all the time where people may not be willing to accept those type of roles. We have guys that understand the big picture and what we're playing for, and most importantly, why this team was put together.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay, thank you.